Okay, we go backstage with Booker T, Kofi Kingston, and Raw Roulette Wheel. Raw GM is letting Kofi spin the wheel to see what kind of match he has with Dolph Ziggler tonight. Vicky Guerrero walks up and spins the wheel instead. Kofi asks if this still counts. It lands on player's choice match. This means Kofi still gets to pick the match. Kofi picks the match and against Dolph Ziggler with Vicky being banned from ringside. And then they go back to commercial. Next up is Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston. Back from the break. Kofi is out first. Vicky Guerrero comes out to introduce Dolph Ziggler. Excuse me! The pig says, and but the referee ushers her to the back, interrupting her before she even mentions his Dolph name. Out comes next is the United States Champion. Bell rings as he's pissed off because he didn't want Vicky to leave. Well, didn't he agree to a certain GM a couple weeks ago that he would dump Vicky? Okay. Well, back from the break, Dolph is in control of Kofi in the ring with a headlock. Kofi tries to make a comeback, but Dolph counters and hits a leg drop to the back of the head for a 2 count. Dolph continues to attack and blocks every comeback attempt. Kofi manages a 2 count, but that's it. Kofi starts fighting back with a flurry of kicks and punches, but Dolph decks him. Kofi bounces off the rope and hits a Trouble in Paradise out of nowhere. Well, the move was a head, kind of like a head and shoulders to the top rope, bounce back into the Trouble in Paradise. Pinfall and #1 contender for the United States Championship, Kofi Kingston. Thus, it was from the non-title match. And they cut back to backstage with Booker and Maurice. Booker is in rare form tonight, talking about the Raw Roulette happening so far tonight. As he runs through the card, and Alberto Del Rio interrupts and asks why he has to face Big Show again. Maurice agrees and says Del Rio has already beaten Show at Capital Punishment. Booker goes to spin the wheel, but Del Rio wants Maurice to bring him some good luck. She spins it and starts flirting with Del Rio. And back and forth as a gold digger character. Wheel lands on a steel cage match, and Del Rio is pissed. Maurice walks off, and Booker tosses Del Rio. Del Rio storms off as we go to commercial. Steel cage match, Big Show versus Alberto Del Rio is up next. Back from break, Alberto Del Rio makes his way out in a yellow sports car. Lamborghini, they say it's worth $275,000. Del Rio approaches the steel cage and makes his way inside. Big Show's music hits next, and out he comes to a nice reaction. Show is all smiles as he enters the ring. Toss Del Rio. Del Rio immediately tries to escape the cage, but Show brings him back and sends him to the mat. Show with big chops now. Show throws Del Rio into the cage and grinds his face into it. Show charges in the corner, but Del Rio moves and takes out his leg. Del Rio takes Show down with several kicks to the head. Del Rio goes for a pin, but Show just bench presses him off of him. Del Rio goes right back, working on Show's leg, and applies a submission. Well, Mark Henry makes his way out to the cage, says he can do anything he wants, and walks around before mouthing off to the announcers. Del Rio runs into a big right hand and goes down. Show goes for a choke slam, but Del Rio kicks his legs out from underneath him and DDTs him. 2 count for Del Rio. Del Rio goes to climb the cage, but Show clubs him in the back to bring him down. Show throws Del Rio into the top rope, and they fight it in the corner. Show goes for a superplex from the second rope, while Del Rio is on the top rope. Show superplexes Del Rio in the back, down hard to the mat, and both are down. Henry tries to rip the door off the cage to try and get in. And so he does. He doesn't officially take it off its hinges. Well, it's still on one hinge as it falls to the floor. Henry finally goes back down the steps, picks up the door, and brings it into the ring. He brings the cage door to the ring and kicks Show in the head. Del Rio escapes out of the cage to win the match. While this is going on, as Del Rio escaped the cage and won the match. After the match, Show is propped up between the ropes and the cage wall. Henry charges with the cage door in hand and splashes him and Show into the cage wall. This sends Show crashing through the cage wall. The entire half of one cage side falls to the floor with Big Show laid on top of it. Henry yells at Show as officials come down. To calm him down, Henry asks what are they going to do? Fire him? Henry says he does what he wants when he wants and continues to go crazy back to commercial. Divas title submission match is up next. Kelly versus Nikki Bella. Yeah, title submission, and they've already chose it. Again, what a mess up. They go to the ring. Out comes Diva champion Kelly. We see footage of Kelly winning the title last week on Raw. Back to this week, and out comes Nikki Bella with her sister. Brie. We go backstage to Booker, who spins the wheel. We've got a submission match. Bell rings and Nikki strikes first. Nikki takes Kelly to the corner and takes her down. Nikki with an arm lock. Now into an arm bar. Kelly fights out and applies a Boston Crab on Nikki. Nikki taps out almost immediately to give Kelly the win. Well, afterwards, Brie Bella runs into the ring and attacks Kelly from behind. Nikki joins in on the beatdown until Eve Torres comes down looking like Mickie James in her, you might say, halter top and, Daisy Duke type jeans. And they clear the rings of the Bellas. Divas have words as Kelly's music hits and the Bellas head to the back. Back from the break, and we get a promo video. Tough Enough winner Andy Levine with a footage of his slap from Vince McMahon and stunner from Stone Cold. FCW President Steve Keirn, Dusty Rhodes, and Ricky Steamboat comment on Andy in the video. We go to Booker T and Rey Mysterio with Raw Roulette Wheel. The wheel lands on Tornado match. It will be Rey Mysterio and Alex Riley versus Swagger and The Miz. With all four in the ring at the same time, he explains to Rey what a tornado match is. Rey walks off and Diamond Dallas Page appears. He talks about WCW Nitro DVD with Booker and shows it off. He brings up beating Jeff Jarrett and the match with Sting. Well, Booker brought that up and with DDP beating Jeff Jarrett for the title. Or versus Sting. Drew McIntyre walks up and says, "Guys in the back think they all are washed. They are both washed up." Drew says they're taking up his TV time. Drew recommends both leave on their own, or they will leave on a stretcher. Out of nowhere, Shawn Michaels comes in, lays out Drew with a sweet chin music. Shawn talks about WCW DVD, says he's never seen it, rolls his eyes as he's walking off. But he wants to see it. Well, like I said, Shawn talks about WCW DVD, and DDP says he's going to like it. Booker says he's going to send Shawn a copy, and that's it. As they go to commercial, or up next is the tornado match, and they go to commercial. Tornado match, Rey Mysterio and Alex Riley versus Miz and Jack Swagger. Back from the break, and out first comes Miz, followed by Jack Swagger. Alex Riley is out first for his team, followed by Rey Mysterio. Both to nice reactions. The bell rings, and all four men go at it. Riley works over to Miz in the corner, while Rey and Swagger go at it. Everyone goes down after clotheslines, and Swagger works over Rey in the corner. Miz and Riley take their fight outside the ring. Swagger with a 2 count on Ray. Miz goes up top, but Ray pushes Swagger into him. Riley clotheslines them both into the corner and whips Ray into Swagger with a fighting drop kick. Ray leaps from the apron to Swagger on the floor. Riley hip tosses Miz from the top rope, but he kicks out at 2. We go to commercial. Back from the break, and Miz is in control of Riley while Swagger's in. It has Ray down in the corner. Riley fights back on the Miz, but Swagger stops him. Swagger and Miz team up on Riley now. Riley fights them both off and rolls Miz up for a 2 count. Ray leaps from the top, but Swagger catches him in midair. Swagger drops Ray over Miz's knee for a 2 count. Another 2 count on Ray after more offense. Ray ends up on top of the Miz. Miz goes for a superplex, but Ray blocks it and knocks Miz back to the mat. Ray with a senton on Miz from the top. Then he drops Swagger and sends him to the floor where Riley is. Ray kicks Miz in the head for a 2 count. Miz goes for the skull-crushing finale backwards. And then but Ray kicks him into the 619. Ray goes for it, but Swagger stops him and pulls him to the floor. Riley comes in and spinebusts Swagger for a 2 count. As Miz breaks the pin, Miz with an inverted DDT on Riley for a 2 count. Riley clotheslines Miz and they both go to the floor. Swagger drops Ray, but still can only get 2 count. Swagger goes for the gut-wrench powerbomb, but Ray drops him for the 619. Swagger catches the 619 attempt and applies the ankle lock while Ray is on the ropes. Miz comes over and chokes Ray while he's in the ankle lock from the outside on the ring apron. Well, Riley makes a save and drops Miz onto the barrier after dragging him off the ring apron. Riley runs over and nails Swagger, allowing Ray to hit 619. Ray hits a DDT and Ray leaps from the top rope with a splash for the win. But Riley did a spine buster to help Ray get to the top rope and splash. Riley and Miz celebrating the ring. They cut to a preview from Shawn Michaels' new show on the Outdoor Channel. We go to R-Truth, who is backstage with the Raw roulette wheel, and Booker T. Truth is talking to himself. Booker interrupts him and tells him to spin the damn wheel. Truth spins, and we've got a tables match for tonight's main event. Truth says he can dig that. Truth says tonight John Cena is going to get got. Truth starts talking to himself again. Booker asks him to leave because he's scaring him. Well, Booker leaves instead as we go to the break. Tables match, R-Truth versus John Cena. Back from the break, and R-Truth makes his way to the ring for tonight's main event. Several tables are already set up around the ring. John Cena's music hits, and out he comes the WWE Champion. Bell rings, and Truth strikes first with kicks and right hands, beating Cena down in the corner. Truth continues the assault, beating Cena to the corner. Another corner. Cena comes back and hits a fisherman suplex. Cena goes outside to get a table, but Truth attacks him, brings it back in the ring. Truth takes Cena to the mat and puts a knee in his back. Cena fights out of the hole and drop kicks Truth. Cena goes for the attitude adjustment, but Truth counters it and lays Cena out. Truth goes outside and brings the table back in the ring. Truth props it up in the corner and looks to suplex Cena through it. Well, Cena counters and drops Truth the other way with a suplex. Cena sends Truth to the floor and follows. Cena throws him into the steel steps and brings another table into the ring. Cena brings Truth into the ring now, where 2 tables are now set up. One leaning up on the corner and one just regular set up. Well, CM Punk runs down and turns the table over that John Cena has picked up R-Truth into the attitude adjustment position. Well, the table's full before John even attempts to move, and he does it anyways. Then, after that move, he just stares at Truth, and stares at Punk. Okay, Cena brings Truth in. Okay, I lost my spot. Cena runs to the floor and fights with Punk. bringing him back in the ring. Cena goes for the AA on Punk, but it's blocked. Truth takes advantage and spears Cena through the table in the corner for the win, since it's a non-title match and what have you. After the match, Punk takes a mic and has a seat at the top of the rope, at the top of the ramp. Punk is wearing a Steve Austin shirt, Steve Austin's t-shirt. Punk says before he leaves, he has some things he wants to get off his chest. Punk says he doesn't hate Cena, he actually likes him more than most people in the back. Punk hates the idea that Cena is the best because he's not. Punk says he's the best in the world. Punk says Cena is better than one thing, and that's kissing Vince McMahon's ass. Punk says Cena is good at kissing Vince's ass, and he's better at kissing Vince's ass than Hulk Hogan was. Punk also brings up The Rock being Vince's ass kisser. Punk says he's the best wrestler in the world and has been since day one of walking into this company. Punk brings up how Paul Heyman saw something in him when he brought CM Punk into the WWE. Punk says, yeah, I'm a Heyman guy. Punk says Brock Lesnar was also a Heyman guy, but he left. Punk says the difference, that's the difference between him and Brock is he just left WWE. Well, Punk is leaving with a WWE title. Cena is still trying to recover in the ring. Punk says he has tried to grab so many of Vince's imaginary brass rings that's what they are, imaginary. Punk says he's proved he's the best in the ring, promo cups and things like that. Punk says he isn't on Conan or Fallon, but should be. The fact that The Rock is in WrestleMania 28 main event and not him makes him sick. Punk says the ones cheering him right now are the biggest ones while Punk is leaving. He says they are the ones signing out of those promo cups, all those promo cups, and them then trying to get him to sign it, and as if let's see. At the signing at the airport so they can sell it on eBay. Punk says he's leaving with the WWE title and maybe will defend it in New Japan or Ring of Honor. Punk says hi to Colt Cabana as he waves. Punk says Vince will make money despite himself. Punk calls Vince a millionaire, should be a billionaire, but he's not because he surrounds himself with people like John Laurinaitis. Punk says WWE could be better once Vince is dead, but it will be ran by his idiotic daughter, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Punk goes on, but they cut his mic as the show fades away as they cut Raw. Okay, what you've all been waiting for that wasn't announced, according to fans in the attendance tonight, Raw in Las Vegas. After tonight's show went off the air, the anonymous GM alert went off, and Michael Coles announced that WWE has now suspended CM Punk indefinitely. And stay tuned for next week's Raw coming up.